How's it everyone, Grant here. Welcome back to another camera comparison video. Today I have the Google Pixel 4 XL up against the iPhone 11 Pro. So this will be a comparison in good lighting conditions. So if you're looking more for a low light comparison, I've done a separate video on that, so I'll be sure to leave a link if that's what you're looking for. So as I always do, I'll show you a bunch of photos and videos, everything from auto mode to portrait mode to different video resolutions as well as frame rates. So by the end of this video, hopefully you're able to decide for yourself which phone you like better based on your own smartphone camera needs. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at all the photos and videos, and I'll come back at the end of this video to let you know what I thought about how each of these cameras performed. Hey everyone, so let's do some video tests here between the Pixel 4 XL and iPhone 11 Pro, and let's see how much better video quality is here on the iPhone versus the Pixel 4. So the Pixel 4 does not have that ultra wide angle camera, so I'll show you that here. You can kind of see what that looks like on the iPhone 11 Pro. And I'll shift back to the main lens and we'll compare those. And so lots of colors here in the park, blues, greens, we've got some purple in the flowers. So let's go ahead and pan over here and do a little bit of a zoom test. So 2x zoom there on the Pixel 4, and let's do a 2x zoom there on the iPhone 11 Pro. We'll zoom farther in. That's about 5 times there on the Pixel. And let's see if we can get to about the same here on the iPhone. And then we'll go to a max zoom, which is going to be 8 times on the Pixel 4 and 6 times here max on the iPhone 11 Pro. We'll zoom back out on both. And we can do some focus tests here with the Pixel 4 first against the post. And so that focuses really quick and refocuses really quickly as well. So one last time on the Pixel 4. And now we'll try the iPhone 11 Pro. iPhone 11 Pro also seems to be focusing and refocusing very quickly as well. Both have a nice little bokeh or background blur to them as well. So testing stabilization. As I walk down the stairs, I'm sure both of these are doing well, stabilized at 1080p here. But I just want to show you the differences and what that might look like. And I'll take one last pan around the park so you can see how it changes or handles that changing light a little bit. Okay, so now let's test the 60 frames per second, still at 1080p on both cameras here. And I do like how the iPhone now finally includes in iOS 13.2 the quick toggle between 30 and 60 frames per second. I wish it would also include quick toggles between 4K and 1080p, but you still have to go back into the settings to do that. But again, iPhone 11 Pro with that wide angle camera view here, whereas the Pixel 4 does not have that. Switch back to the main lens here on the iPhone, and I'll pan to the right, and we'll do the zoom test again here at 60 frames per second. So we'll go to 2 times here on the Pixel 4 and 2 times on the iPhone 11 Pro. Max zoom is still at 6 times for the Pixel, and actually 6 times for the Pixel, whereas 8 times in 30 frames per second on the Pixel, and it's still at 6 times here on the iPhone 11 Pro. If I zoom all the way back out, we can do a focus test on the post. Still very quick here on the Pixel, focusing and refocusing very quickly. And now on the iPhone 11 Pro, same thing. Seems to be focusing and refocusing very quickly as well. And so let's test stabilization at 60 frames per second here. And we'll do one more pan around the park. All right, here's one last test at 4K 30 frames per second. Now the iPhone can do 4K at 60 frames per second, but the Pixel 4 cannot. And here is that ultra wide angle view on the iPhone 11 Pro, so you can kind of see what that looks like here. Back to the main lens, and we'll pan over here and go back to our zoom test. So 2 times on the Pixel 4 and 2 times on the iPhone 11 Pro. And max zoom here at 4K on the Pixel 4 is 6 times. And it should be 6 times, and it is on the iPhone 11 Pro as well. So zooming back out, we can do some focus tests here again on the post. So still nice and quick at 4K on the Pixel. And on the iPhone 11 Pro, same thing. Very nice, fast focus and refocusing. And so again, stabilization at 4K. Both of these should be doing pretty well. The Pixel has always had great stabilization, and the iPhone and the iPhone 11 stabilization is fantastic at all resolutions and frame rates. And again, one last panel on the park here in 4K. Hey everyone, so here is a quick test of the front-facing cameras. Both are set at 1080p 30 frames per second, which is the Pixel 4's max resolution and frame rate. The iPhone, of course, can do 4K 60 frames per second, but I'm just going to compare apples to apples here at the same resolution and frame rate. So this is outdoors. I want to give you a sample of what these look like out here in some different lighting conditions. So I'm in a bit of shade, and as I move the camera around, you can kind of see how it does in adjusting to the changing light here. And I'll just walk a little bit so I can see the stabilization and how that looks here on the front-facing camera on both of these phones. So hopefully this gives you an idea of what these cameras can do here outdoors and how stable they both really are here. Okay, so now that you've seen all the photos and videos for yourself, I just want to close out this video by letting you know how I thought each of these phones performed. And so starting with the front-facing camera, as far as still photos go, I thought the iPhone has dramatically improved their front-facing camera photo quality and even its portrait mode, but I still prefer the overall look of what the Pixel 4 is producing as far as selfies, especially portrait selfies. So front-facing photos, I give it to the Pixel 4. And as far as video quality is concerned from the front-facing camera, I thought they actually both looked pretty good. I was surprised at actually how well the Pixel looked as far as the video quality from the front-facing camera. I thought they both did pretty well in audio as well. So I would say go with the Pixel 4 front-facing camera if you prefer selfies, especially portrait selfies. But go with the iPhone if you prefer front-facing video only for the flexibility of it being able to record up to 4K 60 frames per second, fully stabilized. And moving on towards rear-facing camera, let's start off with still photos. And they both did very well here, so I think it's just going to come down to your personal preference. For me, I think the iPhone 11 Pro tends to produce more brighter photos with warmer color temperatures, while the Pixel 4 tends to produce more contrasty photos with cooler temperatures. It also produces better portrait mode shots, so if that's what you like to shoot a lot, I would go with the Pixel 4 XL, but ultimately it'll come down to what you prefer because they both take great photos. And as far as video quality is concerned from the rear-facing cameras, I'm gonna have to give this one to the iPhone 11 Pro. I think the Pixel 4 has come a long way in its video quality, but the colors are still a bit muted, and the iPhone 11 Pro, not really more saturated, but just more pleasing colors while still being fairly natural. I also think the iPhone 11 Pro offers you more flexibility because it can record up to 4K 60 frames per second, fully stabilized from the rear-facing camera and even the front-facing camera, while the Pixel 4 XL can only record up to 4K 30 frames per second from its rear camera. And so in summary, if you take a lot of still photos and you like using the portrait mode for both the rear and front-facing cameras, I would suggest the Pixel 4 XL might be for you. If you prioritize video and just want more flexibility in your video by being able to shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second, fully stabilized from either the front or rear-facing camera, and you're still going to get some pretty good still photo performance, I would go with the iPhone 11 Pro. So that's going to do it for this camera comparison video. Let me know in the comments which phone you thought did better and why. Let's continue the conversation down there. Any other questions or comments, leave a comment as well. And as always, thanks for watching.